My name is Dave Barber, and we're coming to you today from the third floor of the Rhode Island State House in a segment that we've titled Capitol Spotlight. We essentially put the spotlight on a member of our General Assembly and in short form discuss some of the things they've been working on and how it might impact you, the Rhode Island citizen. It gives me a good deal of pleasure to welcome back a gentleman who's appeared with us many times before. He's the chairman of the House Veterans Affairs Committee, the Honorable State Representative Ray Gallison. Representative, it is good to see you again, sir.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you very much for having me.
You know, I know that veterans issues are very personal to you. You serve as the chair of the Veterans Affairs Committee, as I mentioned. But recently, 3 bills have passed the House, all dealing with veterans matters. If you don't mind, we'll take them one at a time. The first being mail-in ballots for people that are serving in the military and making it a little easier for those folks to make sure they get the opportunity to vote.
Yes, Dave, what we did was we worked with the Secretary of State's office to make sure that those men and women that are deployed overseas right now will have the mail ballots at the proper time so that they can properly cast their ballots, and that in casting their ballots when they get them is in compliance with federal law. So any man, serviceman or servicewoman will be able to get their mail ballot. It'll be received. They can get it back to us so that their vote will count. After all, they are fighting for our freedom and our right to vote, so it's important that we make sure that they are, their particular vote does count.
So is this legislation really more in terms of the infrastructure of how the whole process takes place to just ensure that the ballots are at the right place at the right time?
It is, because with so many people deployed in so many different locations throughout the world, we have to make sure that they go out properly, they go out on time, and also that the servicemen and servicewomen, that they apply for it in the proper manner. So that's what we worked with the Secretary of State's office. We have a good piece of legislation. It passed the House unanimously, so hopefully now we'll go on to the Senate and it'll be passed by the Senate.
Now, also, we know how Rhode Islanders are very interested in their personal license plates, vanity plates, low numbers, all this stuff. We know the history of license plates and its interest by Rhode Island citizens. You've also enacted some legislation or passed some legislation that deals with a special license plate for Rhode Island veterans, giving some older veterans an opportunity to keep a particular design.
That's correct, Dave. We have a very special license plate which says War Veteran, and that predates some new license plate now. Right now we have War Veteran, Veteran, and Disabled Veteran. It's all under one plate with different insignias on it. But many members that fought in Vietnam have the older plate that says War Veteran on it, and they want to keep that plate. So it is only fitting and proper to honor those men and women that served in Vietnam, that they be allowed to keep that plate, and they will be allowed to do that under this legislation.
And obviously, those plates to some folks really have serious meaning. They served. It became kind of special to them because it was recognition that those men and women were able to receive as a result of serving in that Vietnam conflict, and this will allow them to keep it under this legislation.
Exactly, because as you know, when the men and women came back from Vietnam, they were not honored the way they should have properly been honored. This means so much to them, so we've said the House has passed the legislation saying, yes, you can keep your plate.
And why not? That's good legislation. Also, the National Guard has to be happy with you and your committee, because you worked very diligently with the General Assembly to now try to help National Guard folks and their organization be able to more easily get donations from organizations and private citizens.
That's correct. The National Guard has a family assistance program, but that program could not actually accept private donations through the Adjutant General. But right now, what was happening, what this legislation will allow, is that the Adjutant General himself can collect the donation, or someone could send a donation, and that donation can go right into the Family Relief Fund. It's very important for the men and women that are deployed. It means a lot to them, and it does help a lot of people.
And I would think, too, our National Guard's probably pretty popular among most folks, and people and organizations that want to get behind it and do a little something. Now it's streamlined, and that can take place.
It can, and again, it does go to help those family members, because when people are deployed, you know, they've lost their regular jobs, there are some financial difficulties, and this will help them.
Representative Gallison, you've always been cooperative with us here at Capitol TV. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you for having me, Dave.
And most importantly, thanks to you two for watching. You've been watching Capitol Spotlight from the 3rd floor of the state capitol. My name is Dave Barber.